Welcome to the episode on Azure locking and protecting critical resources. In this session, we will learn how to use Azure Resource Locks to prevent accidental or unauthorized changes to critical production resources or data, and also to ensure the integrity of your environment. So let's get started. How Resource Lock work at Azure? This episode is kind of a revision. You already know what locks are. So let's revise it quickly. Well, it prevents resource modification. Resource locks protect your resources from being accidentally deleted or modified. Not just accidentally, intentionally as well, because if you don't have the permission, you cannot remove the lock. Only the authorized person can remove the locks. Then there are two types of lock, delete lock and read only. I changed the name here, but it is called delete lock. Here I mentioned it as cannot delete, so that you will remember that it prevents deletion but it allows modification. You can make changes, you can put more resources, but you cannot delete it. Then there's a lock called read only. It prevents any changes, including updates and deletion. It's like freezing your environment. It's best for auditing. Now, you can apply locks at different levels. Locks can be applied at resource level, resource group level, or even subscription level for more granular control. You should protect critical resources first. You must use a lock to safeguard at least your production environment, like critical databases or servers, your web application, network components, and much more. Simple way to understand is that if it is making money to your business, it is critical, put a lock on it. Now, using resource lock to ensure resource integrity. Well, protect critical resources first. You should apply read-only or delete locks to prevent accidental modification to important resources. This is how you will make sure that your environment integrity is protected. You're not losing data, you're not losing your infrastructure by mistake. Prevent unauthorized changes. Well, locks help you to restrict unauthorized user from making changes, ensuring that critical resources remain intact. So for this, you have to give the privilege to a trusted person so that only that person can remove the locks. Scope flexibility. We already know that you can apply locks at multiple levels. That is your subscription level, resource group level, or resource. But remember, if you want to protect hundreds of resources, do not apply lock to each resource one by one. Put it on the upper level of the hierarchy, that is resource group. But don't put the resource lock directly on subscription if you don't want to lock all the resource groups. Because if you put it on the subscription level, it will get inherited to everything under that subscription. Now, consistent security. Of course, you should combine resource locks with RBAC or other services like blueprints to make sure that your locks become a compulsion and no one can modify or delete your data, especially for your critical infrastructure. So let's go to our lab and test how we can apply some locks. I will see you in the lab.
All right, now let's check the delete lock. For that, again, I need to create a resource group. Don't bother about this. It got created when I deployed the virtual network. So I will just remove it. And let's go ahead and create a demo resource group. Demo RG in Canada Central, next, and create it. Now, inside this resource group, I'm going to deploy the resources. I will deploy two resources, means two different virtual networks. VNet 01 in Canada Central, next. And let's deploy that. I will deploy one more VNet 192.168.1.0.2 with a different IP. So a different class of IP is not a compulsion for this demo. I'm just doing it for this demo's sake. The actual concept is delete lock. So I will put a delete lock on the resource group, and we'll see if we can actually delete the resources inside that resource group or not. So this resource group have two resources now, VNet 1, and eventually VNet 2 will also show up. Here we go. Right now, I'm going to put a delete lock on resource group. So I will go to settings and click on locks. And let's put the delete lock here. Done. Now, can we add more virtual networks to this? Let's try that. And here we go. Yes, we can add more resources to it. Now, can we delete it? Let's try to delete the number 1. Cannot delete VNet 1 because there is a lock. So you can add resources, but you cannot delete it. Can we delete this one? Of course not. And same for VNet 3. Okay. Now let's remove the delete lock from the resource group and put it on a single resource. So I'll go to the lock and delete this. Now can we delete the resource? The answer is of course. If it still do not allow you to do that, just give it some time. I just removed the lock. So maybe give it like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and then come back again. If it's still not working, try to log out and log in to your Azure portal. And now you can delete it. What if you want to protect just one resource? Let's say we want to protect VNet 3. So let's protect that VNet. Under settings, find locks, and put a delete lock on it. All right, now there's a lock. So this way, can we delete VNet 2? The answer is yes, but not the VNet 3. But how about we delete the whole resource group? Because there is no lock on the resource group. We can try that. It's saying that you cannot delete this resource group because there is a resource which is actually protected. So in both cases, logs do actually protect your environment, yes or no? The answer is, of course, yes. Logs protect your infrastructure from intentional or accidental deletion. Now, if I want to remove this setup, I have to remove the lock first. All right, can I now delete it? Yes. And I know that putting locks on resource group or just VNet might not look like a very critical thing to do, but remember, what if you will deploy firewalls in your organization in future, or you're deploying some critical servers or NVAs or something like that? Those things are, or those resources are very critical. Then it makes more sense to put a lock on top of it. All right, now let's check out resource locks, a very simple yet very important feature to protect your infrastructure from intentional or accidental changes or deletion. So for that, I need at least a resource group and a resource just to showcase how resource log actually works. Over here, I have a resource group. And inside my resource group, currently there are no resources, but you can still put a lock on top of this resource group. So if I go to resource group, under security, you will see this option called locks. And we don't have any locks here. So let's add one. Click on add, call it a demo lock, and choose your type. I will choose read only and apply it. Now, there's a read only lock on this resource group. So, can we create a resource inside it? Let's try. Let's try. So, let's create a simple resource called virtual network. Create, and I'm going to use this resource group, call it test vnet in Canada Central. Canada Central, next, next, and class A IP is good enough. I'm going to use the default one, next, and here we go. So there is a problem. What's the problem? That I cannot perform write operation because of this resource lock, and I applied it on the resource group level, so it will get inherited to all the resources inside it. Now, there's a read-only lock on this resource group. Can I delete the resource group itself? Let's try that. As you can see, no, I cannot even delete it. So now if you want to make changes, this is pretty much frozen, this resource group. If you want to make changes, the privileged user have to come back and remove the lock. I can just click on delete and the lock is now gone. You can create resources, you can delete resources, you can do whatever you want now. So test vnet Canada Central, next, next, next. I'm going to use a default setup and create, and it should work. Here we go. So deployment is in progress, and yeah, it works. Can I delete everything? Yes, why not? You can delete it on the resource group level if you want. So I'm going to delete the whole resource group, and it's gone. So this is how your read-only lock works. Very important lock. And a lot of organizations actually put this lock once the infrastructure is up and running and there is no need to make any changes.
Welcome back. I know the lab was very simple. You already know how to apply the locks. So I hope now you will never forget it because this was kind of a revision for you. So let's summarize this episode. Today we covered how Azure Resource Locks can be used to prevent unwanted changes to critical resources. Whether it's through your read-only lock or delete locks, you can apply it at different level of your environment. That is subscription level, resource group level, or even an individual resource. This will make sure that your production environment is safeguarded. So thank you for joining this episode. I will see you in the next one. Take care.